Hello everyone. Here's a story from one of our listeners. My job often requires me to travel for work. A lot of times, I'd get this gut feeling that something wasn't quite right, because the older sister would come over often. So I never felt comfortable about it. And another thing about my husband is, I actually knew that he has a bit of a flirtatious side. I've known that about him for a long time. So I secretly installed a camera. I installed it without my husband knowing. Of course, I had to hide it. I mean, the purpose was just, to keep an eye on how they were taking care of my dad, right? But in reality, confirming my worst fears, I saw the two of them. Holding hands, touching each other's legs, and also pushing each other back and forth. My husband and that sister. Whoa. Okay, we have a listener here with a heavy heart. She's 36 years old this year, and she has been married for 7 years. And in her family, well, her parents, they aren't happy together. Her parents have actually been separated for a long time. So right now, her mother is living with her son over in California. Meanwhile, she, the daughter, lives with her father out here. Her father has already transferred his assets into her name. The father also wished to live with his daughter and her husband, so that the couple could take care of him in his old age. Then, just recently, her father suddenly brought an older woman home, who is her sister. He introduced her officially as his daughter from a relationship with an ex. This sister is a few years older than her. This sister, well, she lives nearby. And this older sister also. She was married, but right now she's single. She has kids, too. It's so complicated. So, to be honest, our listener wasn't happy at all about this sister suddenly appearing out of thin air. But her father, he really cherishes and loves this daughter. He really cherishes and loves this daughter. As for my sister, well, Dad often invited her over to visit and chat, and he would analyze her situation and also comfort me, saying my sister has had it rough, and now that she's a single mother, he feels sorry for her and really cherishes her. But from what I've observed, I feel that my sister isn't being sincere at all. I feel like she's just sucking up to him, being all two-faced just to ask Dad for money and ask for his assets. To be honest, I don't really like her at all, but I just have to try and put up with it because my dad adores her. Besides the land and assets he already transferred into my husband's and my name's, Dad surely must have more. So, with my job, I often have to go on business trips, and many times I had this gut feeling that things weren't right. I didn't feel at ease at all, because my sister would often come over to our house, and I just didn't feel comfortable. On top of that, my husband, to be honest, has always had a bit of a womanizing streak. From way back, I knew, and I just tried to endure it. The camera, I was actually the one who installed it. I hid it, of course. The purpose was to sort of monitor how he was taking care of my father. That's all. So I just watched. And my worries. Well, he saw the two of them holding hands, being touchy, and even playfully pushing each other around. My husband and my sister, when she came over to take care of him. I never would have imagined. I just thought that my sister is so much older. And her looks. Well, there's nothing attractive about her at all. She's not but I never imagined it would be like this. Then I watched for another couple of days, and I saw them wait for Dad to fall asleep, and then they'd be fooling around and all that. So I came home immediately. I came straight home to deal with this problem, to settle this with the two of them. My husband, well, he apologized and begged for my forgiveness. But truly, in my heart, of course, nobody wants their marriage to fall apart. There are the kids to think about, and the whole family too. Generally speaking, the husband is claiming that nothing extreme has happened yet, but eventually there will be a breaking point. And the second thing is, with that sister, we absolutely cannot let the father find out, because he's already old and frail, and this whole thing is just shameful and depressing. We have to keep it from him. But now, if I don't let her come over, that won't work either. She'll get all resentful and start throwing a fit. It's so hard for me to just ban her from the house. First of all, it's not like every sister-in-law and brother-in-law are out there messing around with each other. But in reality, these things between a sister-in-law and or a younger sister and a brother-in-law, and so on, they do happen here and there. It happens. There have even been cases involving a mother-in-law and a son. The truth is, some people just can't control their emotions. They let themselves go, lose control, and that's when a person truly hits rock bottom. They just let their basic instincts take over. From a purely primal standpoint, your husband and that half-sister of yours, blood relations aside, they're still just a man and a woman, and she's divorced and living apart. Living alone, she's lonely, and frankly, she's desperate for a man. She comes over here and sees a guy who's, well, quite a catch. Of course, there's flirting. There's bait being thrown. It takes two to tango. Both sides are to blame. Even if she was desperate and tried to grab his hand, if he were a serious, decent man, it wouldn't have come to this. But, in the end, look, maybe they haven't done it yet. But the hugging, the fooling around, the touching, once that starts, getting into bed is only a heartbeat away. Because in their minds, they've already decided to sneak around. Yeah, if I hadn't installed the camera, if I didn't know, I probably would have been in the dark forever. Unless, if I hadn't checked the camera, I really wouldn't have known at all. Unless things went way too far, they got caught and were seen at a motel together, somewhere in town where everyone would find out. Unless someone speaks up, I might never have known. Otherwise, it would have been nearly impossible to find out. The first thing is, I've already determined that this is a very serious situation. It's not just some baseless suspicion or doubt anymore, because seeing is believing, and the camera caught everything. No decent person would be sneaking around and messing around with each other like that. Whether she's my sister, even if she's just a half-sister or my own flesh and blood, she has no business with her own brother, her own sister's husband. It is absolutely unacceptable. And if my husband tries to use the excuse that, well, you know, she's my wife's sister, so what's the harm in a little fun? Then that is also completely unacceptable. Human beings are supposed to be better than animals, because there are certain boundaries and things that must be. Not everything is on the menu for you to just take. You can't just go around messing with anyone and everyone like that. So, the very first thing I'm going to do is I have to sit both of them down and talk. Both of you, sit down right here. I am truly disappointed. And let me be honest, at this point, sisterly bonds mean nothing to me, especially with that woman who just dropped out of thin air. We aren't blood, we didn't grow up together, and we have no history. It would be one thing if we were sisters who grew up sharing a life, taking care of each other, sharing every little snack and piece of bread as children. That's different. But here's she. Is this woman who just appeared out of nowhere? I'm not going to make a scene, I'm not going to court, and I'm not taking this public. So, how about the two of you explain yourselves to me? What exactly is this? Look, here is the footage. The camera doesn't lie. Everything is recorded, and it's clear as day. So don't try to act like you're being framed. Don't tell me that I'm just blind, or that I'm just being paranoid and imagining things. Okay? And if I hadn't brought this up today, who knows how much longer you two would have kept lying to me? And for how long? And the most important thing is, You both have to face the truth. Listen, I am truly disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you, but as for her, I just feel pure contempt. Honestly, if it weren't for Dad, I wouldn't even know who you are. We're not blood related, so who are you to me anyway? So, the first thing is, you are never to set foot in my house again. And as for you, don't let this affect the children. Don't let other people find out about this. I'm keeping this quiet for you, and I'm only doing it for various other reasons. This is the first and the last time. I'm warning you not to come here anymore, and I will have my reasons to explain to Dad why. That's the first thing. You have to be firm. You have to stand your ground. That is, if you don't want to lose your family. But I'm not afraid of making Dad sad anymore. There is no surgery that doesn't involve pain and loss. This is a tumor that has to be cut out. And when you cut it, it's going to bleed. There will definitely be pain. So, that's how it is on her end. And to be honest, I'm being lenient. Anyone else would have been done for by now. Now, as for Dad, first of all, you say that she is your half. Well, that's something only you would know. As for us, we wouldn't know. And in the past little while, she has been coming over here. There are a few things that I am not happy about, and I have asked her not to come here anymore. But she still has a responsibility if you end up in the hospital later on. By all means, let her pack a bag every night and come sleep with you, sharing the responsibility of caring for you. That's fine. But as long as you are living with me, she is banned from this house. If she wants, she can send gifts to you. I will accept them on your behalf. But coming into my house is not an option. As for the reason, I have more than enough reasons to ban her. I don't need to tell you what they are. And if you feel that you care for her so much, then I won't stop you. You can go ahead and visit her house, but she is not allowed to come here. That's it. You're welcome to go live with her over there. She's single, after all. In this house of mine, I have my husband and children to worry about. Me and the kids. Over there, she only has herself. So go on over there. First and foremost, I have to protect my own happiness. Exactly. Because if I keep worrying about everyone else, like being afraid of making Dad sad, then worrying that she'll feel hurt, or that my husband will have regrets, then I'm the only one who ends up losing. My only concern is how this affects Dad. As for Dad, it's obvious. She's been fooling around with my husband, but lately she's been coming over here quite a lot. Under the guise of caring for Dad, she's done a few things that I've seen, things that make it impossible for me to let her back in this house. I've banned her from coming over, but I'm not stopping her from fulfilling her duties to Dad. If she wants to cook some congee, then bring it over. Just ring the gate bell. I'll go out and get it, and I'll take it in to Dad myself. If she wants anything else, just transfer the money, and I'll buy the gifts for him. But if Dad feels like he really needs her there, then he can go stay at her place for 1 month. When he's tired of it, he can come back here. All children are his children. After all, we both have responsibilities, right? Remember that in any situation, you have to put your own interests first. You can't let yourself get hurt, and you can't let yourself be the one who loses. Those people, do you think they ever stop to think about the fact that they were hurting you? They didn't think about you for a single second. They were only thinking about themselves, weren't they? So, there's no need to hold back or be polite. The evidence is right here. We don't need to say, let's wait and see what they've done. No, maybe they haven't slept together yet. Maybe they're just fooling around for now. That kind of thing. A brother-in-law and his wife's sister, hugging in a corner, getting all handsy. If they're messing around like that, they'll end up in bed eventually. And honestly, who knows if they already have. I just didn't want this kind of thing happening in my own family. But if my husband is sneaking around, finding ways to sneak over to her place, then there's nothing I can do. At that point, it is what it is. I'll just make it clear that I'm absolutely done with this. If they've already decided to go all the way, if they really want to be with each other, to get a piece of each other, then let them, and then they start flirting and giving each other looks behind my back. So, of course, I wouldn't know. But what happens when I do find out? The first thing you need to do is to talk to all three of them. Show your stance immediately and ban her from the house. As for you, don't you dare let any of this reach the kids' ears or anyone else's. You'd better watch how you live your life. Honestly, once they realize you've got cameras watching them, and both of them are caught off guard, they'll see you're no pushover. I might be kind, but I'm certainly not foolish enough to let people walk all over me. They'll be shaken. If my husband tries to sneak over there to see her, well, who knows? Maybe his wife has a GPS tracker or hired someone to follow him. At the very least, let them see that I am not someone who can be easily fooled. Okay? As for Dad, you just need to tell him I'm banning her from this house, and I have a damn good reason. The tricky part is how to explain it to Dad. Just say there is a very valid reason. Tell him, I don't need you to know the specific details, but I'm banning her. She is not allowed to set foot in this house. But don't stop her from taking care of Dad. If she wants to worry about him, give him money or things. Let her bring them all here. And if Dad says he feels sorry for her, loves her, and wants to be close to her, then please go over to her place. Let her take care of you. In 1 or 2 months, when she's bored, he'll come crawling back here. You have to do what's necessary to protect yourself. You are the one being hurt here. True, maybe nothing has happened yet, but you have to anticipate it. The deeper they sink into this. For example, you to keep nurturing this relationship, the longer you spend together, even eating and sleeping together, going out and having fun, the stronger the bond becomes. That's when it's hardest to stop. And that's when our situation becomes truly heartbreaking. Now, for our second story, here is a situation from one of our viewers. It is quite a complicated dilemma she wants to ask about. I am 36 years old. I have been divorced for 8 years, and I am raising a daughter on my own. My younger sister also got married, but they did not have any children. Then, her marriage also fell apart. From what I observed and what she told me, her ex was a very irresponsible man. He did not care about his wife or her family, and my sister just could not take it anymore. So, she divorced him. However, 3 years after her divorce, I happened to run into her ex-husband again. It was because of a work requirement. Starting from work-related discussions, we began opening up and asking about each other's personal lives. Even though he is my former brother-in-law, he is actually 1 year older than me. We really clicked when we talked. We share the same tastes in food and watching movies. Just like that, feelings started to grow between us. I have been secretly in love with him for almost a year now. From the time we met until now, we have become lovers. He is not at all like he used to be, and he is definitely nothing like the negative things my sister said about him. Instead, he is always so gentle. He spoils me and really cares for me. One truly treasures this relationship, but I have not dared to tell a soul. I know that secrets cannot stay hidden forever. It is just that I do not know how to face my parents. And especially, how am I supposed to face my sister with the truth about this whole story? This really is a tangled situation. Falling for your own sister's ex. Now, if everything were straightforward and official, for example, there are cases where a brother-in-law, after his wife passes away, finds himself developing feelings for his sister, and that sister-in-law feels that since her sister has already passed away, and her brother-in-law is a good man, she wants him to remain close to the family. And then she also wants to step in for her sister to care for her sister's child. In that case, connecting with the brother-in-law is understandable. And that kind of situation, both in terms of the law as well as social morality, is perfectly acceptable. There is no issue there. But in this case, the sister, they lived through an unhappy marriage and eventually had to part ways. Right now, she's still left with nothing. As for you, of course, you might meet a stranger, a completely new man. Now, he's no longer your brother-in-law, but he used to be. We often find ourselves in very ironic situations in life. See, we might develop feelings for, a male cousin or an older cousin, right? Yes, that is very natural. But when those feelings spark, whether we choose to nurture them and let them grow until we can't break free, and then we end up violating one thing or another, well, that is entirely our choice. Initial sparks are just natural, but whether we feed that fire or not, that's on us. Yes, well, as for her, maybe. If they meet, then fine. Meet up, grab a drink, hang out. Just hang out. Now, from a Gail standpoint, if she loves that guy or loves her, former brother-in-law even, if she marries him, it's not wrong in the eyes of the law. But life isn't just about the law, is it? We have to consider things. Whatever we do, we have to think about the consequences. Especially because this person once brought such sadness and pain, and he's tied to a very unhappy chapter in her sister's life. When you get married, nobody wants to leave their husband. They must have been truly miserable to finally walk away. And then, suddenly, she sees her own big sister all giddy and lovey-dovey with him, going out together like a real couple. Then people are going to start saying this and that. Even the parents will think, wait, he married the younger daughter first, and now the older one is throwing herself at him. It's just completely disgraceful. Your parents might even snap at you. Are there no other men left on this earth? Is there no one else that you have to chase after that guy? Sure, you could argue that you aren't doing anything illegal. I haven't even done anything yet. I don't have anything to hide. I know you haven't done anything yet, but you really need to look ahead. The deeper you sink, well, look at it this way. If the two of you keep nurturing this relationship, the longer you stay together, eating together, sleeping together, going out and messing around together, the bond will only get stronger. And then, when you want to stop, it'll be so hard. Especially when your situation is already so complicated. Then I guess you too would. Well, eventually, you'd probably have to take each other's hands and move somewhere else entirely. Like if the two of you decided to just pack up and go to Taiwan or Switzerland and work somewhere far, far away. Then you could finally live together. Sure, over there, out of sight, no one would know. But if you're still living around here, I wonder if that happiness would even feel real. Or is it just because you were so starving that a new dish suddenly tastes delicious? I mean, it's not even certain that he's actually a sophisticated person or even gentle at all. He just wants to win over a mature woman like you, so he's putting on a big show. It's probably just an act. It might not be who he really is, right? That's why I think you must do everything you can to stop this from going any further. Please. Look ahead. The deeper you sink, just think about it like this. If the two of you keep feeding this relationship, the longer you're together, eating together, sleeping together, going out, the connection will only tighten. When you finally want to stop, it'll be nearly impossible. In this life, we have to consider the consequences. It's not always about the excuse that I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm not breaking any laws, that the law doesn't forbid this or that. In reality, there are many things that govern our lives. It's the law, yes, but it's also ethics, moral principles, and even what society thinks of us. There are things that once people start talking too much, we find ourselves struggling to stand our ground. So, while there are no serious consequences yet, you should know when to gradually pull away. Stop feeding it. Think of it like a wild beast. No matter how fierce it is, if you stop feeding it every day, it will eventually get thin, get sick. Then it withers away and dies. But if you keep nurturing it, it will gain enough strength to eventually turn on you. And by then, you won't be able to fight it off. Sure, there's love, but you also need to realize what's truly important right now. And I'm certain this sister truly loves her family and wants to maintain a good relationship with her younger sister. She should choose her actions wisely to protect those family bonds. Thank you all for watching our video. For now, goodbye and see you again soon. Next is our third story, sent in by a young wife. Allow me to read her letter. Dear expert, I've been married for 5 years and we have a little boy. We were living in a rental until 2022. My husband caused a traffic accident and was badly injured himself. He is now facing lifelong mobility issues. We had to scrape together every penny to compensate the victim. My husband also quit his job and stayed home. My own father felt sorry for us, so he let us stay in a small apartment that he was renting out just to help us with the costs. I agreed with my husband to bring his mother up to live with us, thinking she'd help care for him and look after our child. Since then, my husband hasn't gone back to work. I've suggested and even offered to pay for him to learn a new trade, something that doesn't require much movement, like computer skills or design. But he gets discouraged and gives up every time. My mother-in-law hasn't been any help at all. Unlike what he promised, I'm still the one working and doing almost all the housework, because my mother-in-law says our son only wants me to look after him. She won't drive because she's scared of the traffic, and the bus isn't convenient, so she won't pick up her grandson either. Even when I come home exhausted from work, I still have to pick him up, feed him, and put him to bed. Meanwhile, my husband and his mother just watch TV and chat away. I'm handling all the household expenses alone. My mother-in-law doesn't have a pension. I get that every child prefers their mother's care, but she could at least try bathing him or doing things for him to get him used to her. It would also help build a closer bond between grandmother and grandson. My husband's mental health has been affected for 2 years now. I've tried so hard to encourage him to start over, but he has no intention of trying. He snaps the moment I bring it up, leaving my husband in a situation like this. Is it cruel of me? Ma'am, I feel like I'm reaching my absolute breaking point. Sigh. Your situation is truly so difficult. Between your husband's accident and the crushing financial pressure, and then having the burden of your mother-in-law on top of that. Yet in the end, you still don't get any empathy, any help, or any support at all. It's like every hardship is dumped onto your shoulders. No wonder you're so exhausted and just want to give up. But the thing is, if this resentment isn't resolved, if you just keep it bottled up inside, it's going to grow bigger and bigger every day. You have to realize it's only going to get tougher. Remember, the challenges will only grow because as your child gets older, school will be expensive. And your mother-in-law is only getting older too. She won't just be eating and watching TV like she is now. There will be illnesses. Now, for example, if she has to go to the hospital and your husband is in that condition and can't look after her, you'll be the one running back and forth caring for him. Then plus the kid. It's going to be incredibly hard. So, perhaps right now is the time to be completely honest with each other. I'm not even talking about giving up, yet by giving up, you mean thinking about filing for a divorce, right? But listen, speak your mind. Have a talk with your mother-in-law and your husband. Seriously, one of these days, Send the kid over to your parents' house. With just the three adults home, tell them, I need to talk about this for real. I really need to be honest today. Looking at our family situation, I am beyond exhausted. It's been terrible. I've been enduring this for years now. I've accepted this. I've put up with that. I know that nobody wanted this accident to happen. No one ever wants misfortune to happen. But as for you, I feel like you aren't in such a bad spot. So many other people are stuck in wheelchairs or walking frames. Some are even blind, yet they still go out to work as massage therapists. They earn their own income. Many people with severe disabilities still learn to live independently. But you... I think we should go for a full health checkup. Look, the doctor concluded that everything is stable. Your mental health is fine. There is nothing wrong with you. Right now, it is just pure inertia. You have been home so long that now when you go out, you worry about how everyone looks at your appearance. So you feel insecure and refuse to go. We need to discuss a different way of doing things. Working online from home is fine too, like selling things online, packing orders, and so on. Just do some kind of work. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out. Maybe the thought of having to get the bike out and leave every day is too much. But there are many ways to make a living now, right? The bottom line is, we have to try together. Otherwise, well, then there is Mom. I have my job and our home situation is like this. Mom, you are getting older, but helping me with chores actually helps keep you healthy. If older people just sit around and stay inactive, it will really take a toll on them. If something happens to your health later on, I honestly feel like I would be too exhausted to cope. So, Mom, first, please make sure to take care of your health. Second, please keep an eye on my husband. How can two people live in the same house like total strangers? You and Dad just sit there watching TV. And that is it. The kids aren't studying. They aren't bathing or doing any laundry. Are they just waiting for me to get home from work to do everything? Well, I have said my piece. Let's give them some time. So, are you okay with me booking a doctor's appointment for you this Monday? I'll handle the registration, then I'll drive you there for a full checkup. That way, we'll have a clear picture of where you're at, both physically and mentally, and so on. After that, we can come home and figure out how we're going to make ends meet. And as for Mom, she can help us out with this and that around the house. In the mornings, Mom can just take her time with breakfast and then head out to the market. She can pick up whatever we need. Our lifestyle is pretty simple anyway, right? See, that's how you delegate tasks to her and how you should communicate with your husband. And all of this should be put into motion within the next 2 weeks or so. But if after those 2 weeks, they're still being difficult and throwing fits, if they act like, I don't care, I'm not doing it, this is just how I am, then fine. It's time to move on to step 2. I tried talking about it before, but my husband just didn't get it. He just kept saying, I'm not doing it. That's your job, not mine. I've tried talking to him about it, but he just doesn't show any empathy. He still insists, I'm not doing a thing. Housework is a woman's job. Those words, they really hurt me deeply. But this time, I'm putting my foot down. I have to change the way this family functions. It's just not fair for me to carry the weight of everything on my own. I need everyone in this house to step up and pitch in. Because honestly, this is something that needs to happen right now, so that people aren't just sitting around doing nothing anymore. If your mother-in-law still refuses to help, then the next step is, what comes after that? Maybe suggest she goes back to the countryside. The house there is much more spacious and peaceful. And let your husband and the kids go with her for a while, just to clear their heads. Whether it's for the finances, the fresh air, or whatever. Just to give them a better environment. understand. You're not kicking them out or anything like that. You're just breaking those old, bad habits. As a husband, he needs to understand clearly that this is a warning because he's already been given a chance. Any effort made, well, it has to be recognized, appreciated, and shared. Plenty of people have it much harder than this. And yet here, there's nothing being done. Not only that, but a husband should be saying, "Honey, it's okay. I'll try my best. I'll take care of all the housework. You just focus on your work. You go handle those other things. In the evenings, I'll tutor the kids and everything else." Instead of you and your mother just sitting there watching the TV and laughing like idiots, why don't you go help the kids with their studies? Talk to your mother about it. Just remember that if you keep being so submissive and just taking it all in, you'll be the one who suffers these bottled up feelings deep inside. There will come a point when you just can't take it anymore. Then it turns into a ticking time bomb, and you'll start lashing out at everything. Or you might end up reacting so violently that things just get even worse. Right now, all that resentment is building up. Just speak up. Be honest but gentle. Try using that kind of tone. You're exhausted. You need to share the load, and everyone has a different way of contributing. For your husband, it's one way. For your mother-in-law, it's another. Then keep an eye on things for 2 weeks. If they still just want a free ride without doing any work, without taking any responsibility, and just take everything for granted, then it's time to tell them, "Mom, maybe it's best you go back home, and we'll move back to..." That's a polite way to ask them to leave. You see, you really need to take a firm stand. I'm not saying leave him yet, but you have to be tough, because you've already been way too soft. You can't just keep carrying the whole world on your shoulders like this forever. You're going to burn out eventually. And I truly hope our female listener will take action and start following the advice from Uncle Madden right away, with the hope that your husband will start to see the problem too. And instead of just staying stuck in that state of boredom or feeling like he doesn't want to try or build a life with his family anymore, he'll change his perspective and join hands with his wife to protect their families. Happiness. Thank you all for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to hear more compelling stories.